first thing to mention is that the only job of the subject line is to get your email opened. That's all that it's there for. Okay, now then it has to obviously, then your content has a separate job to do. But so you've got to get the email opened. And what we like to talk about is the 222 principle, which if you've been to any of my events, then you may well have heard me talking about before. So the 222 principle goes as follows. You have 2 seconds to grab your reader's attention. People, as Jürgen said, people are scanning through their inbox, so it's got to be something that's compelling. So you've got 2 seconds to grab their attention. The first 2 words are the most important. People read the first 2 words and then they decide whether they're going to even read the rest of the subject line. Instead of deleting it or just junking it for later, and then you've got to try and get them to take action today, even with the subject line. So it's a little bit of a clunky metaphor, but it's the 222 principle, and you will remember it. So, for example, the number of people where I get an email from them and the subject line is September newsletter just makes me want to weep and smack my head on the table, because A, I know it's September, thank you very much, and B, I know it's your newsletter. I signed up for the damn thing. So don't bother sending me that. However, if it says, latest offers, top tips on whatever, exclusive invitation, like free chocolate, okay, I'm much, much more interested. However, then what you have to do is you have to make sure that the content of the email actually relates to that subject line. So for example, if I get an email and it says free chocolate in the subject line, there sure as hell better be some free chocolate related to this. Otherwise, I'm going to be a very, very unhappy girl, because I take these things very seriously and would count it as a personal affront to be teased with a free chocolate headline. So you have to make sure that it's relevant, and I have seen a little bit of an increase lately in less relevant subject lines, or subject lines that are very kind of tease-ish, but then they don't really answer the question that they pose, and I find that really annoying. So you want to make sure that it's good and it actually makes sense, and you don't want to make it too long either. So we did some tests of looking at open rates of some of the subject lines that our customers were using, and like 5 words is probably ideal. You don't want to go much longer than that, especially not now when you think about people are reading, that more than half of emails get opened on a mobile screen, and people are just scanning through, and the screen is small, so you want to make sure your subject line doesn't run off the end. So short, sweet, to the point, 2 seconds, 2 words, get them to take action today.
I'd say using lists is a good way of doing it, because then people know what to expect. So the 7 ways to fix your bicycle or whatever it is. Same thing goes for blog posts. Also using brand names usually works, so whether that's people or companies. So let's say you are a small business owner, you have a small company, nobody really knows your brand, but if you have done some business with Coca-Cola or IBM, they're going to be very interested in looking at what they've been up to. So that's like brand awareness. Yeah. And also you can do, like when you write good blog posts, you can do a how-to subject line or the guide to, so that people understand that, okay, this is the problem it's going to solve. Hopefully that's a problem they want to solve, but you should have done that research before you wrote the subject line. And another random one, just anecdotally, we have a conference coming up end of this year, and when we sent out some emails to potential speakers from big brands, we had varying results of people replying to us, but we found that the best one was basically just writing subject line, you belong on stage, and then talking about the conference in the email. So we had a few people come back to us say, we love that subject line. That was basically the only reason I opened your email out of the hundreds of emails that come in every day. So if you can touch people in with something personal or something that's very pertinent, then I think you're on to a winner.